Hi.
We're back.
We're back.
At Locofton.
Yeah, we missed 1 week or 2 weeks.
1 or 2 weeks. Gave everybody a break.
I was away last week, and the week before, I think we did it. I think we only missed 1 week.
Not 2. It's at least 2.
2?
Yep. But that's why
we'll investigate that. I think it's not 2, but we'll find out.
I promise you.
All right, we'll go with you. Okay, so lots to talk about today. Obviously, we'll just identify the elephant in the room, the Bank of Canada. Big deal.
Points. That's what you were talking about actually in some of our past ones that you were hoping they would do.
I did. Yeah, that's right. So in the last one we said, there was at this point, there was going to be 2 more. It was going to be October, December. I think I could be quoted as saying 50 and then 25.
You were hoping they would actually go 50. You didn't think they would do it.
Correct.
But you were hoping that they would. And they did.
They did. And related to that, so if we want to do a little bit more remembering what we said to see if we were right, because that's fun. The last time we did one of these, we were a few working days into October, because you'll recall, remember I said, hey, we're only 5 or 6 working days in, but the early numbers are that we're way up. I got to turn my phone off. It's Kelly Mann calling me probably about interest rate stuff. I'll call you back, Kelly. So now we are 17 out of 22 working days into
it. Yeah.
We were way up. Remember I said we were up like 35 or 40% through 17 working days. If we're comparing month over month, last month we had 875 transactions. Now we're at 1,041. That's like 25% up month over month. I don't think that's going to change. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to be, we're going to finish, whatever, probably 1,300-ish transactions or more. In all of the previous months recently, we've been bumping around 1,000 or just under 1,000 transactions month over month. So maybe we'll be up 30%. Who knows?
Is that so? Interest rate obviously has an effect. Is that just buyer power? Is that why? Is that just giving them confidence? They're feeling like they have more money now to actually.
Well, what I think it is psychologically the change started to occur before the rates even went down, because the talk was on the street, this is going to happen. And so I think you started to see consumers in the marketplace respond to the news that they thought was inevitable. And then the news hits, earlier this week, and now it's just going to continue to snowball. I don't think we're at a place yet where we're going to see like bullish response in the marketplace, but we're up. Yeah. And I'm hearing enough conversations from other agents and purely just the number of transactions where people are starting to do things that they weren't doing 4 or 5 months ago. In terms of like what it actually does numbers wise to the cost of a mortgage, it's not massive yet, but it's getting bigger. And now we're down. What are we down? A total of 1.25, right? Because we had gone down 75 and now we're down 1.25 from peak. So like I wrote down, so TDs and a number of other banks, their prime lending rates currently are at 5.95. Now keep in mind, a bank's prime lending rate is different than Bank of Canada prime. Yep. But they all slide together. So when the Bank of Canada went down 0.5, TD and Scotia and all the others went down 0.5. So a lot of people would have, for example, like a variable product today would be like prime -1. So then your effective lending rate is 4.95. Yeah. Right. There are some people, and I put myself in this category, I've got a mortgage that I never let go of. So I wrote it all the way up and now I'm writing it back down where I was prime -1.35. Yeah. So my effective lending rate is now like 4.6, which is getting significantly better. It was all the way up at, 6% or whatever it was. So that's great. And we're starting to see the increased activity in the marketplace. I think we're still not at, I think I used the language traction point. I don't think we're at a traction point in the marketplace yet where we are going to see significant shifts yet, but we're closer. And the real unknown here is what are we going to see with fixed interest rates, say between now and February.
Right.
The variable lending world is related, but still completely separate from the fixed lending world. Fixed lending world tends to be dictated more by the bond market. I actually haven't looked up bond yields in the last 24 or 36 hours, so I don't even know what they're doing right now. But I don't think they're going up. That's tied to the economy. The economy has been soft. And so I think we're going to see my feeling is that we're going to see a further reduction of the fixed lending rates between now and the end of the year and into the new year as well.
Cool. So
as I said before, I think if people could consistently get money well under 4%, 3.75, 3.5 would be gold. Then that would be a ticket. Like that would be huge. For where we're at.
Cool.
So yeah. I'm sure you guys have consumed all kinds of articles and reading and social whatever. And you can just log on to Instagram and see it all. But I think we're going to hear a lot more predictions here in the next 30 days in terms of what kind of impact this might have in the market, not just now, but for the beginning of next year as well. Yeah. And then layered over that, we've got this stalemate election that we just went through. Actually, I've got
it's not done yet, though. I think we have to like the 28th or something.
So I'm on, this is Elections BC website.
Yeah.
So it was originally predicted
26 originally, right? Because they had
you mean the vote? Or
when they would know everything.
Right. And the reason we don't know everything now is twofold. Number one, we've got an essential stalemate between the Conservatives and the NDP, being that both of them have won 40 seats. NDP is leading in 6 more, Conservatives are leading in 5 more. But the real variable is that as of this moment right now, here, let me look. 65,000 ballots, which are the mail-in ballots. It was estimated 49,000. It's now updated to 65,000. Those aren't going to be counted until this weekend. This weekend's the deadline, and it might even go into Monday.
I'd heard they had pushed it to the 28th. Like a final count by the 28th, because originally it was the 26th.
It is. Here it is right here. October 28th, final count of absentee ballots in all electoral districts. Results will be updated starting at 9 a.m. So that's Monday. They're going to start counting Saturday, though. So we'll have updates Saturday and Sunday. There's enough ridings that were within, let's say, 100 votes. 65,000 is a lot of votes. So there could be some big changes here. I mean, it's probably no secret what team I'm on. So I'm really hoping that we see a swing to the, go green. That we see a swing to the Conservatives. And one can hope. But it's probably, I shouldn't even say this. I was going to say it's a foregone conclusion that we're not going to have a majority government, but I don't even think that that's true, because you only need 47 seats. Both parties are close. And depending on what these 65,000 votes do, we could see 4, 5, 6, 7 swings in terms of the polls or the So that is significant. I think it's significant to our economy, significant to our real estate market. There's all kinds of rules and things that have been brought into place in the last number of years by the current sitting NDP government. A number of those things one would think would be overturned instantly in a conservative majority government. If it's a minority either way, you don't have the ability to govern in the same way. Just think of the tenancy changes that have occurred in the last 2 years. Some of that stuff would get looked at hard if it was a conservative government. So there's nothing we can do now. The votes have been cast. There's you can't do anything to impact it. But we got to wait and see what that count does. So Stay tuned. We'll find out
on Monday.
Yep. One other little news thing here to touch on is the Christmas party. I know we mentioned this in the last one, but just to give it another plug, November 30th, we are in the same location as we always are.
Casino night.
It's an awesome party.
DJ.
I think we have the same DJ, same casino party, awesome food, good time. And we've got a block of rooms at the hotel.
I don't know if there's any still available, but we do have some.
Oh, have they all been spoken for?
I have no idea. Christina would know that. So you should RSVP to Christina, and if you are looking for rooms, she'll have the information, because we do have a block of them, but we were pretty limited. I want to say it was like 10. It was low. So, but there are more places. Yeah,
but if we needed more at this point, we could probably get more. Mm-hmm. It's just that, we can't go and we don't want to go and block off more than we need. Yep. So
it's going to be fun.
Be there. It's a great time, awesome time to be together as a family, and to celebrate the year that was and to celebrate the season.
I fought for the roast.
Oh, what do you mean?
There was talk about not having the roast.
Like the roast beef?
Yeah. At the end of the table with the dude cutting it.
Really? We weren't going to do that?
There was talk. I walked by the conversation and I was like, nope, I'm not coming. That roast is not there.
The food is
it's so good.
It's very
so good.
We've gone to all different locations in the Fraser Valley.
Yep.
And we come back to this location because the food is by a mile way better than everything else. And then the venue is beautiful as well.
Yeah. Casino night's so much fun. The whole night is a good time.
Yeah.
And I don't like those things. And I like this one. So
you know what? I think a lot of people would say. A lot of people would say they don't like those things, but
they are fun when you go.
But this is good.
It is.
Yeah. Awesome. So that's that. I touched on this. I'll just whatever. I talked about I had a note here to talk about the increase in sales. We are seeing. Actually, I've got a little stat here.
While you're pulling up the stat, I'm going to throw a question at you that I hadn't planned for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it came from a conversation with another agent.
Yeah.
We were talking about the adjustments to Bank of Canada, and everybody's posting about it. And I kind of joke about, you can go on social media and everybody's posting about it. And the comment from the agent was the tornness of not wanting to be part of everybody doing the same thing, but also feeling like you need to get something out there. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that? Do you think an agent should, the problem is everybody's saying the same thing, and it's hard to come up with something different to say about just that.
So I absolutely have an answer for that. It's twofold. Number one, if you're not on social media and if you have an Instagram account or a Facebook account and you don't regularly utilize it for business, then to me, that's not the medium to make that kind of post, because that's not what your people are used to seeing. And it's going to feel almost like opportunistic or inappropriate if all of a sudden you're doing that. Mm-hmm. Not to mention, you're not standing out. Everybody else in the world is doing it as well. Now, maybe your clients or the people that follow you don't follow every other realtor.
Which is one of the struggles, because as a realtor, we see everybody doing this.
And then we just think it's everywhere, and it's actually not.
That's true. Yeah.
But the place, I can speak from what I do. So I have my own social media accounts, but I don't actually utilize, for the most part, my Instagram account for those types of things. I do mostly personal posts. Now, there's people who follow me who are in my business life, but then they're used to hearing from me in other ways. And this past week, when everyone was making this announcement about interest rates, I too was announcing to my clients, but I was doing it in the form of a direct email. Mm-hmm. And the beauty of that is it's a more personal communication. Yep. I'm then taking the information and making a 1-minute video, 2-minute video, dissecting what I think it might mean for my people.
Yep.
The engagement is it's higher for me. I know that some people on social media have huge engagement, but it leads to immediate feedback, conversations, meetings. I've had meetings as a result of it. So I think if you are you don't want to be silent on the matter, but you do not have to be following the herd and doing on Instagram or Facebook what everyone else is doing. You just need to be talking to your people. So wherever your people are, however they're used to hearing from you, that's the way you should be talking to them. If you don't talk to your people at all, and there's a lot of people in that category, right? They've got social media, but they don't utilize it for business, and they don't have a regular communication plan.
Oh, what a great lead into later. But yes,
yeah,
right?
That's right. Stay tuned. Then what should you do? Well, I would suggest that it's best.
We got to start somewhere.
Well, you got to start somewhere. So, but I would even say, so if I'm going on Instagram tomorrow and I'm making a announcement about the interest rates, I'm not just going to post whatever, a static picture of a change. I'm going to make a video that says, here's the change. Here's how I predict it's going to impact the marketplace. And then there's an invitation for a conversation. Yeah. That's how you do it. The repeated static pictures, like, again, nobody take this the wrong way, but there's a lot of people in our marketplace that repost the identical image from said mortgage broker that they repost their stories or whatever. I'm not saying you're hurting yourself, but you just look like everybody else. And is that the best we can do? No, that's not the best we can do. There's better ways.
I think the important part about what you mentioned too is when you do the video, that last part, inviting a conversation, it's really important. If you're going to do it, you should be ending it with let's talk.
Totally. And don't be afraid. I think sometimes people don't want to make predictions out of fear of being wrong.
Yeah.
There is absolutely nothing wrong with being wrong on a prediction. As long as, number one, your prediction in the first place was founded in facts and reason. And number two, if you're wrong 90 days later, get on the camera again, look at your people and say, I was wrong.
Can you believe it? Yeah.
Can you believe it? I was wrong. And here's what's happened. We don't even expect our own governors and leaders in our country to be right on everything. And they're wrong more often than not. Surely you don't have to be right on everything. And I feel like what our people want of us is they want to be led. They want to be told by the professionals. You're the professional. What do you think is going to happen? Here's what I think is going to happen, and here's why. So, like, messaging that everyone's heard from me in the last 60 days here, and what I'm sharing with all my clients is that I really believe this is an ideal time to buy. Our prices are still basically at rock bottom. They're up a little bit, but they're basically at the lowest they've been. Take advantage of that and get the benefit of cheaper money down the road, because we know which way the rates are going. And it's only a matter of time until prices go up. We don't know what that traction point is. I think it's about 3.5%. Whatever it is, we're going to hit there and prices are going to go up. So you get the best of both worlds right now. And whether or not a buyer chooses to fix in today or go variable, there was just an article in multiple media streams in the last couple of days about how more buyers were choosing variable rates. Well, no duh, of course. They're going like, I see the writing on the wall. I know in the next 6 to 9 months, rates are going down further. I might lock in March or April, but right now I'm going to get the benefit of today's price. In the short term, a little bit higher interest rate. It's going to ride down. I'll fix in what I want. This is like very logical. I had a client in that scenario they had, first time owner son, wanted their son to buy. Just did a transaction here in the last month. Closing is at the end of January.
Right.
It's perfect. Got today's price, make decisions on mortgage rates later down the road. Away we go.
Sweet.
Yep.
Cool. You were looking something up when I brought that up. Did you figure out what you were looking up, or does it matter?
Well, there was some sales. I might have closed it out. What do I got here? It's right here. We've had an uptick. So as the market has gone up, or number of transactions have gone up, we've got an uptick. Like, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but I want to say in like the last 30 days, our whole brokerage has done probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 transactions.
Crazy.
Which is awesome. That's significantly more than we've been tracking along at. And so a lot of our people have made a lot of good sales. And so I was combing through them just as I do, whatever. And so there's a few impressive ones on, so here's like a recent one on Regent Avenue, North Vancouver. Gloria McGalliard made a big sale, $2.5 million home. It had so it had been on the market for 3 months, originally listed for 2.6. I don't know all the ins and outs of the sale. You could call Gloria and ask her, but she got subject removal on the 11th of October. And it took 92 days to sell. Listed for 2,598 and sold it for 2.5.
Nice job.
Like there's a lot of stories like this where stuff was sitting and now it's going. Here's one that was, listed the end of September, sold on October the 4th. This was Sean Webster's listing. Cute little house in Cloverdale. One day on the market, goes at 1,595. Oh, lighting just changed in here.
Fix that.
There's the ghosts in the walls. Go ahead. So Sean makes a sale one day on the market, gets very close to asking price. And then here, I'll pull up one more. Justin's outside trying to keep the lights off for the lighting here. There we go. You just dimmed it. Here's one more I wanted to mention. So Colleen Dragonoff, I'm sorry if I don't pronounce your last name properly, right. Colleen, I think it's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But Colleen's one of our newer agents. I want to say this was maybe her first sale, or it was one of her first sales. But got a listing, 2 months on the market, originally 1.4.5, 65 days in the market, ends up selling it for 1.3.5. Nice. And subjects like just came off.
Congrats.
Literally, well, what day is it today? The 27th? Subject removal was 23rd.
Yeah. That's
like right now. That just happened
2 days ago. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice job.
So anyways, we have a lot of sales like that. There's a lot I could go through, and like I said, I could find 150 transactions and call all of you out.
The numbers will be at the next office meeting.
That's right.
You're there.
We'll have all the numbers at the next office meeting. Yep. So that was it. I was just looking up some sales, and all of you have done some great transactions in the last month. And those are just a few that I wanted to call out. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about training coming up.
Yep. We got some training coming up next month.
We say next month, but it's close. It's two weeks from now. So for those of you who've been doing the boot camp or coming to the boot camp training, Ray took over and did a couple sessions last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago.
It was through October. Yeah.
Yeah. And Ray talked about money management and multiple streams of revenue.
Yep. Those
were two of the pillars that he discussed. And then last week we had some actually fantastic training. This was actually this week. Well, Justin did an awesome session. I wasn't even there.
No, you were.
What did you do it on?
We focused on getting your Google profile actually working for you, how to set it up properly, how to utilize it as a social media tool. And then really importantly, how to leverage Royal LePage's SEO for your own website. So we spent quite a bit of time just showing how to really build it up. So it was good. I mean, we're probably going to have to do one in Abbotsford because there were some other agents that would like to come out this way. So there will be one coming up. I just haven't picked the date, but it was good. It was just all about how to utilize Google and really get yourself set up properly. It's crazy how many agents don't have a proper Google profile set up, and it's insanely important for your business.
Yep. Yeah. I can testify that I have had, you've helped me with that over the years. Yep. And
reviews.
I've had people just random strangers, Google, whatever, Abbotsford real estate agent, I need to sell my house, whatever it is.
Yep.
And then they just call you through Google.
Yep.
And then they read your reviews, and you could speak to this. I think Google reviews is probably the number one mechanism that people rely on. Is that
reviews are
not
always,
other than referrals?
Reviews are always the biggest thing. I mean, I talked about it in my
Google reviews specifically is like the most trusted review source, right?
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, the fact is, if you Google anybody and you see reviews, that's what you're reading. What I said to people when we were doing the training is that when you're buying something on Amazon, it's the only thing you're reading
100%.
is the reviews and Google reviews. It's so easy to get them. So we went through that too, like teaching people how to like utilize easy, quick methods to generate reviews. It is a huge part of your Google business profile. The fact is Google, the reason it's so important is because of how it relates to maps and where you show up and being able to show up. Just because your office is in Fort Langley, you probably do business other places. You want to make sure you're showing up. So we showed how to make sure that you're showing up within those map searches because it makes a big difference. Yeah. So
quick tip on the review thing. So for years, I had reviews that I manually collected from people. This is long before like Google profiles or whatever. And on one of my old websites, I'll bet you I had 50 or more testimonials, as they would have been called, on my website. And then when you got me going on this years ago, I had all these good reviews, but it's like, well, what do I do with them? They're not on Google.
Yeah, you
how do
put
I
them
get
on
them
your website? But like,
and how do I get them on Google? So what I did to get going back then is I handpicked, not all of them, but like, let's say I probably emailed 15 people. I emailed them the review that they had written for me years earlier. And I said, hey, I'm just getting my Google profile up and ready. Would you be willing to repost this exact review that you gave me? Here's the link. You can just click here, copy and paste. And like, I think all of them did it, or almost all of them did it. And so it was just, if you are one of those people where it's not like you don't have testimonials, but you haven't done this before and you're thinking, oh, I'm starting from scratch. You're not starting from scratch. You can instantly have 20 reviews. You just got to walk.
And if somebody already wrote that for you, they would love to repost it.
100%.
Especially when you tell them how much you love their, the testimonial that they gave you a few years ago.
Totally. Some of them will rewrite it, tweak it, whatever, but literally they don't have to take any time. They can copy and paste, click, boom, done. And you've got it instantly.
So we're going to do another session in Abbotsford. So if anybody didn't get to come, we can't record it. It's too hard to record them. They're too interactive, but we're going to do another.
Is there any value? I've actually never asked you this. I'm just thinking of it now. So in review, is there value for analytics and people saying like, Justin helped me sell my home in Mission or White Rock, or there is
SEO tied to the reviews.
Right. So what are the important things to have in a review to benefit? I mean, location?
Location's great. In the end, glowing review is what matters the most, but yes, location helps.
So like he's handsome.
Yeah, obviously.
He responds quickly. He's
the main thing
attentive.
is I was selling my house in so-and-so city and how awesome that person was. It does help.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. I never asked that. Now you know.
But we did have Roy LePageau. That's what you were leading towards. We had an awesome session with Roy LePageau.
Yeah. So this is something like, this is new to us. We've never had high level training from corporate. So this is the second time we've had them on, or third?
This is the third with Leslie, and we had one other early on with another lady.
Yeah. So if you have been coming, great. You know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of you who haven't been, because each of these sessions, we probably get 20 people
we had a pretty full house on this one. I
sat in on this session, and I mean, I'm not trying to say that I don't have anything to learn, but I'm 21 years in the business. I know what I'm doing. I like to think I know what I'm doing. I sat there and I learned.
Yeah, she's good.
There's stuff that I took away from that going like, that was high value. So come to these things.
We'll have another
I don't know when we're going to have another corporate.
Spring?
Yeah, like they'll come out.
I try and get them to come out twice a year.
Yeah.
So I'll be working with them on the next one, but it'll probably be in spring.
Yeah.
Very good though. They are. And they're not recorded. They're not like, you need to be there.
You get PDP. We've talked about why we're not recording. We're not going over that again. Everybody needs to get face to face, belly to belly, and learn from one another. So
you do get PDP, but really the value is in the training itself. She's really, really good. The topics they bring up are always consistent.
Yeah, we've had Leslie twice, but there's other trainers too.
We've had Leslie 3 times, and we've had another trainer earlier on. Leslie is.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the other one.
Yeah, but that's Leslie is sort of like the one.
The main.
Yeah.
Leslie's background is, I'll botch the description here, but she was in business development for Walmart.
Yeah.
She did something for their expansions. Royal LePage headhunts her way back when. She's been with them ever since. She's high level.
Oh yeah, she's smart.
She's
and the fact is too, we've never had, they never ever duplicate the training. The training is always consistent to like what it is now that is helpful to agents.
And related to what we're going to talk about next, she is a master communicator.
Yeah, she's so good.
So there are people that have a lot of knowledge, but they've never learned how to communicate that knowledge effectively.
Yep.
She's great.
Oh yeah, she's good.
Like I'm watching her teach, and I'm actually, from my own perspective, I'm watching her just because I have to teach.
Yeah.
I'm watching her, how she does it, the tricks she uses, the way she tells jokes or whatever. She's very, very good.
Yeah, it was good. We'll be having her again. So keep your ears to your email.
Yeah.
Actually read them.
So on the training topic then, upcoming
November.
I'm just pulling up the portal.
Want the dates?
Well, the dates, the next one is November 6th. I know that for sure.
Yep. Got them here.
You got them there. Okay.
So we've got November 6th. That will be in Abbotsford at 10 a.m. And then we've got November 19th. That will be in the Surrey office at 10 a.m. as well.
Okay. And so here's what we're doing. So I started the, I was the first one to do the training for the boot camp. Ray came in for the last 2 sessions, did money management and streams of revenue.
Yep.
We're now going to move into 2 more streams, or 2 more pillars. Sorry. Pillar number 1, a database-driven business. And the next one, mastering communication, i.e. why I was talking about Leslie.
Okay. So we've got data-driven business. What's that? What are we focusing on in that?
So database-driven, well, it's exactly as it sounds. It's, when we talk about the agents having what we would deem to be a successful business, there needs to be streams of revenue. And the primary, most important stream of revenue is the database pillar or the database stream. And so having a business that is driven by your database, you'll have other streams of revenue. You might farm a neighborhood, you might have business associations, you might be someone that focuses heavily on foreclosures or whatever. But the primary stream of revenue must be, in our opinion, a database and a plan for a database that is measurable, something that you can execute on, it's repeatable, and you can count on it.
Yep.
And so this is something I'm significantly passionate about. It's the way I've run my business for many, many, many years. So I could teach from it from I've done it perspective.
Sure.
And I'm going to get into the nitty gritty as to how it should look. What are the do's? What are the don'ts? The tricks, tips, whatever you want to say, but it's going to be practical learning how to do that. And whether you're an agent who already sells 50 homes a year or someone who's trying to figure out how to sell 10 homes a year, it's all the same. It is literally the same. What changes over time is the size of your database, but the function of what you do is identical.
Yep.
And so it applies to everybody. So that's the database piece.
Yep.
And then the other piece is mastering communication. And this is the communication is the database thing is like a fundamental. Communication is the skill that you use to implement, right? And some of the greatest salespeople in the world, greatest salespeople in our industry, they might be so-so at a number of things.
Yeah.
But they are master communicators. They tell stories. They use stories to motivate people and to get them to move, not just physically move, but like move, take action. And so that's been something that I've learned over the years. Somebody who's a great storyteller that we all know is Ray. Ray's a fantastic storyteller.
Yeah.
Sometimes he tells the same story too many times, but he's incredible at it. It's been something that's been significant to his career.
Yeah.
And so there are some fundamentals and like things that we can learn and practice. It's not just something you don't read a book and then go, okay, now I'm a great storyteller or now I'm a great communicator. You read a book or you come to a session, you hear a concept, and then you need to practice.
Yeah.
I have personally practiced in a mirror. I have practiced with other people. I've role played. This is not sexy. This is not fun. Like this is embarrassing, right? To fumble over your words, to look at yourself in a mirror, to sit down with a colleague and to role play something. But it's no different than practicing a new move if you're a gymnast or a new thing if you're a hockey player. Like, you suck when you start, and it's only through repetition that you get better. But this is a fundamental communication. I mean, this is what we do. We talk with people, right? We can get better at it. And so that's why it's one of the pillars. And that's going to be the second one.
Sweet.
That I get into.
Awesome.
So what we're going to do on November the 6th, where am I? Am I in Abbey or Surrey? So that's it. So we rotate between locations, and somehow what we're going to do is, so we're going to do both of them. We're going to touch on both these in Abbotsford. And then 2 weeks later, I'm in Surrey. Mm-hmm. That's November
Tuesday,
what?
19th.
So we're going to do the same thing again.
Yep.
For people coming from different locations.
Yep.
But in both of those sessions, I'm going to intro into business planning.
Right.
We're not going to do the business planning in those sessions, but there's going to be some things that we touch on and how it relates to it.
Yep.
And then there's going to be a business planning session that I think is yet to be determined or not.
It has yet to be for sure determined, but
is it early December or late November?
Our talk was to do it early December, but we may have time to do it. Currently don't have a date.
So stay tuned on that. So the point is, though, come either or to both on the 6th and the 19th. Mm-hmm. And I mean, everybody come.
Yep.
I don't care who you are, how good you are, or how busy you think you are, or whatever. This is important. And you're going to get something out of it, I promise. And then we'll get posted.
There will be business planning training for sure. Yeah.
And so the business planning, we do it. I've probably done it now for, I want to say 5 or 6 years for sure.
Yep.
In a row. It's always done this time of year. And then we always do we'll do it at this time of year. Then we do virtually nothing through December, December. Yeah. And then we'll do a early January review of business planning.
Starting to get going.
But by that time, that's not when we start business planning. No. We do business planning now. Mm-hmm. And the January is like, okay, we're dotting our I's, crossing our T's, and away we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So dates will come out pretty soon. Probably after we finish this, we'll figure.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, we have the next couple dates on the portal. Yeah. We just don't have the business planning date down yet because we were honestly waiting to see how this all felt going through this. We wanted to be able to adjust, which we have done. Yep. We've adjusted as we've gone because we hear feedback. We go, people want more of this or more of that or whatever. And so that's what we've been doing.
The idea is to have training, lots of sessions.
Yeah. The other thing I should say, which has been really encouraging, is as we've done this boot camp, we've got umpteen stories of people talking to you, talking to me, talking to Ray, whoever, saying, hey, I thank you. I put this into practice and then I did this transaction or I got this listing or whatever. So that's what we want to hear.
Just with regards to like the training specifically too, I have heard agents, quite a few now, who have come to Ray's training or your training. And you may hear Andrew say something and it's not the way you would do it, but they've taken the idea and implemented it and they've raved about it.
That's good.
So
it's humbling, but it's also, we're doing this. We only do this because we want to help you sell more homes. That's it. And so to see the results and to hear those results is cool. Is great. Yeah. I think that might be it. Sweet. Is there anything else that you had to bring up or?
No, I don't even know. We've got an office meeting, but I know we'll probably have a thing before then, but
David's going to be back.
David will be back. We have an office meeting on the 13th.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. So it's training on the 6th, office meeting the following week on the 13th,
and the following
and then
week.
training after that. Yeah.
Sweet.
Great. Well, keep going, everybody. Everyone's doing awesome. Happy Halloween. Here's hoping to a conservative government in BC. Only the Lord knows what's going to happen federally.
When is that?
Well, no one knows because,
well, when's the actual, we
don't have to have an election until next fall, but Trudeau's got anarchy in his own ranks. He's got now 20 to 25 MPs who don't believe in him, shockingly, that they don't believe in him as a leader anymore. So who knows what happens there too, but we got a lot of stuff going on.
There's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on. You got to be aware of it. You got to know how to interpret it, and you got to be able to tell your people what this may or may not mean
and move on from it, depending on what happens.
That's right.
And just keep selling.
Yeah. Good point. And move on from it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Sweet.
We'll see everyone soon. Bye.